screen. Share.
Okay, the only one of us can we sharing.
Okay, just share you. I'll try to share you again. Okay.
Okay.
Who is going to share? You or me?
If you have
Oh, now I can see. Now I can see it.
yeah. Okay. I will take the control of the
Okay.
presentation. So
Okay.
I
No,
will.
we are fine now. We are fine
Yes.
now.
Okay. Go on, please.
Okay. Here is our agenda. We're going to talk about me a little bit, just 30 seconds, and then let's a little introduction. And we talk about risk management, what's its purpose and what's meant to be. And then I'm going to explain you a little bit about what is the risk mandala, where it came from, and what is its purpose and the idea, and why do I created that. And then I'm going to do in a strategic level, risk strategic level, and then about risk governance, and then risk processes in practice and supporting tools that was created just to support the implementation of the risk mandala. Okay, and then we're going to make a section about questions and answers, but you can make questions, any questions at any time during the webinar by chat. Okay, just a little bit about me. I have a 20-year experience in project management and 50 years of them only dedicated to risk management, and master, doctor, and postdoc in risk management, many trainings, many informations. I have studied and applied and worked with risk management in trainings and consultings. I have developed tools, techniques about risk management all over the world. Can you go back a little bit, please? Okay. And I have already trained around 50,000 professionals in business schools around the world, especially in Brazil and here in Portugal, where I live, and in Canada, where I lived 2 years before. Written papers, books, standards, co-author. I'm also a co-author of the PMO and the standard for risk management and many other things and books and some certifications all over the world, most famous one in the world. Okay, but just about me. Let's talk about risk management. Well, I just written a statement some years ago that ignoring risks is like drawing without an eraser. What does it mean? What does it mean? Because usually when you're drawing something, if you make a mistake or if something happens differently from what you were planning to do, you can erase it. But if you don't have an eraser, you cannot make any mistakes. And this is exactly what we are talking about. When you're planning something, when you can't make a mistake, and this is because you're not planning for something uncertain, something different that can happen when you are drawing or when you're planning or doing your projects. So, but what these uncertain things that comes during your execution of the project, during the planning or doing something, these are the risks. So if you ignore risk, if you don't care about it, you're going to have to make no mistakes in your life. And this is not possible. So this is why I wrote this statement, because you can make mistakes. But if you're planning for mistakes, planning for something uncertain, you can do that. And this is risk management. Go on, Leo. Okay, this is a funny thing. This is a Brazilian soccer player on the left side of the screen. His name was Garrincha. Maybe people don't know that, but he's very famous in Brazil. He was playing on the 50s and 60s. He won 2 World Cups along with Pelé and most funniest players in Brazil. And there is a great story about him that's related to risks and related to planning, related to strategy. Then he was a very simple person. When in 1958, before the game with Russia, then you can see the Russian guys trying to kick the ball, and he was talking to other guys, and the coach was telling them the strategy how he is planning to win the game. And he was explaining to the players that, okay, you were going to the right and then you kick the ball and there's another guy coming from the back and he kicks the ball and you score. And then you're going to attack by the left and do this and do that. And they're explaining the strategy to the players. And then they were, okay, I agree. But once Garrincha, that was a very simple but a great player, asked him, did you arrange that with the Russians? Did you arrange that? They agree with this strategy. Because if they don't agree with that, it won't work. It's simple like this. You were planning to do something, but you were not arranged that before. With something, but something can happen that you're not planning. And what you're going to do if this that you were planning is not the plan from the Russians, and then is that, okay, what we're going to do? And what's the lesson that we can learn from that? If you don't have a backup plan for your strategy, if you don't have something planned for uncertain event in the future, you don't have any other chance. And this is strategic risk management. And there's a statement that I sometimes say to my students and my clients, that's in, what's the contingency of your strategy? What's the contingency for your plan? What we are going to do if your plan doesn't work? And there are many uncertain things in the world. Actually, there are only three things that I think is certain: death, taxes, and that everything is going to change. All the rest for me is uncertain. And if it's uncertain and it can impact your project or your plan or your objectives, this is going to be a risk. So every time you think about a plan or a strategy or something that you're planning to do, think about, what if something happens different from what I'm planning to do? This is risk management. This is the basic concept of risk management. We must be prepared for that. And this is the question: is what is a risk?